It's official. The dev team has completely lost touch with the community and they are prepared to blame you. Not long ago now, the game director Pfft posted on the forums to talk about some of the concerns the community has had, titling his post, "Clarification on Swtor's Development." You won't be surprised to find out that this post is indeed a wall of text, followed by another wall of text from the narrative director, Ashley. Why the devs don't stream these updates is completely beyond me. I'm pretty sure they said in the past that they would be doing more streams, but we've yet to see evidence of this. Info dumping on the forum seems to be the go-to tactic, rather than actually facing the community and giving them the chance to ask questions live. Well, with this forum post, ladies and gentlemen, we take a hard hit. In the very first paragraph of Pfft's post, he says this: "I wanted to hop in here and clear up some of the misconceptions that we've seen in the forums and in other spaces players frequent. Some of this is based on folks misinterpreting what I've communicated in the past, along with a limited knowledge on how our game development process works." Now let's take a close look here. Some of this is based on folks misinterpreting what I've communicated in the past, along with a limited knowledge on how our game development process works. So this sounds a lot like you are accusing your players, who give you feedback, of not knowing how you develop this game. This statement is very defensive, and it's easy to see you are looking to invalidate feedback that was in fact more than valid to begin with. Let's continue further into the post. Pfft goes on to explain that they have indeed planned the entire story since the start of Legacy of the Sith, and have also planned other features alongside those updates, such as ventures. Pfft states that these things were put in place when they were back with the BioWare studio. Let me quote this next part: "But everything we are doing now, and have been doing for some time, is completely new and developed here at Broadsword. There seems to be some perception that what is currently being developed is somehow different from what we've done in the past. Am I the only one who notices the contradiction here? Pfft says people are assuming that the content they make now is different than before, implying that the content is actually following the same pattern it always has, while in the same breath admitting that everything they've been doing since the studio change is completely new. So Pfft, is it the same as before, or is it completely new? Make up your mind, my guy. Did nobody proofread this? The game director, directly contradicting himself. A 6-digit salary for this." I think it's important that you yourself read this post and perhaps even reply to it. There is a link below for you. Now the next post made here is by the narrative director Ashley Rule. The narrative director is responsible for leading the writers and helping to keep the story narrative in line with other departments, such as art design for example. Anyways, Ashley adds to Pfft's post, "Because the players have had concerns over the story direction." We've spoke about this on the channel before, so it's good to actually see a response to this. It's just a shame that it's another terrible post. Ashley starts by explaining there were struggles around creating content and moving to Broadsword at the same time. She calls this a big change. Yet when we first heard of the studio changeover, we were told not much would really be changing and that most of the team would be staying to work on the game. So either this actually was a big change, or you lied during the transition to ease public concern. This would not be the first time we've seen a lie from the developers, albeit this one is small. We have seen Eric Musko promise Master Mode R4 Anomaly, and now people are being banned or muted for just asking about it. The devs have updated Conquest and Reputation without informing you. They removed timed run achievements from the players and cover it up. They literally removed people's hard-earned achievements from doing the hardest content in the game, all due to a mistake that they made. Let's get back on track. The forum post. Ashley says this: "As our team size has changed, so has our development. We pivot, we scope, and we strategize to bring players the highest quality content that our current team can produce. Look, we don't know if your team size changes unless you tell us. As previously mentioned, you before told us that most of your team still work there. In fact, you even say that in this very forum post. So again, I'm just wondering why you are contradicting yourselves. These posts are incredibly defensive, and you've made critical mistakes in your phrasing and explanation. One moment you have the same team, now you tell us as your team size changes, you encounter different struggles. All I'm asking for is some consistency. Ashley continues to say this. To that end, starting in Game Update 7.3, we adjusted our delivery of narrative content, particularly cinematics, in the main story. As we've established a rhythm over the last few updates, I want to give context as to why we vary our cinematic scene style in Pfft story content, and where you can expect it. So, if you have adjusted your delivery of narrative content, that would mean it's different from before, right? So what Keith said earlier about content not being different from the past is now a lie according to Ashley as well, and not just Keith. Man, these guys should start reading their own posts before they go out. Ashley continues her post talking about dialogue cutscenes and the Swtor style cutscenes. You probably noticed with 7.5 that the developers cut down on voiced dialogue scenes for your player character during the main story quests. We've never seen this done before, outside of side quests and or daily missions. She explains that the fully voiced scenes are traditionally used for the main plot, romance, etc. I believe what she meant to say is that the game in the past was fully voice acted, but I can understand why she's downplaying it. Anyways, Ashley basically explains that moving forward, they will be using more Swtor style scenes so they can fit enough story into their updates without affecting the time frame. No, did the devs just choose quantity over quality? Did they actually just say they need to cut back on content to make room for more content? Isn't this a story-driven game? Why is the story content being cut before Oh, that's right. You've cut down everything already, and now you want to cut more. No new ops, no new multiplayer content, Dark vs Light bosses removed, and next is your voiced dialogue cutscenes. The fully voice-acted experience is this game's largest selling point. It separates this game from the other MMOs on the market. Take that away and what do we have left? A game that's a shell of its former self. This will not stand. The developers have accepted mediocrity as the standard and now want to blame you. Yes, you the player are at fault, according to the developers. If you criticize them, then it's just because you don't understand how game development works. If you ask about removed content, you get banned for being so bold. I dare you to go to the forum and ask the developers specifically about these issues. Watch your post be deleted and your profile muted. Better yet, when they fire up a stream, ask them live, that way they can ban you live and we all see it live. Stop blaming the players. Take accountability for your mistakes and repair trust with the players if it's not too late. In all my time of playing this game and creating content, I've never seen the dev team sink this low. If you are blaming players for your own issues, then you are severely out of touch. How can you with a straight face ask people to subscribe to this game, pay you real money just for the luxury of you removing content and shunning the blame on players not understanding you? You might have been a AAA game once, but those A's are lowercase now. Your entire posts on the forum basically tell players to lower their standards moving forward. If this is the case, maybe you should lower the price of your sub, or maybe just remove it altogether. I'm sure you're selling enough Acolyte Platinum skins anyways. You guys suck, especially you, Keith. You've been here like 8 years as the game director, and the last 3 years you've spent removing stuff. When you gonna do something good? My last video was right about you all. Apathy is death. A new dev team is needed. If these forum posts are to be taken seriously, then we the players should probably stand against it. I know there are some of you who wonder why I make these videos. Some of you think I'm wasting my time, others think it to be simply complaining. But I do not forget the promise I made, to you, my viewers and community. I will be here until the game's last dying breath. Upon my honour, I will be here still when the servers eventually go down. We have been a voice for your feedback for almost 10 years. I won't stop now. I must remain. While I remember, another talking point we must cover is the fact they recast the voice of the Imperial agent. This caused some people to be concerned about their own characters. However, Ashley did make a separate post that explains the voice actors will remain part of the team for the foreseeable future. So I don't believe there to be any issues with voice actors, and seemingly they are able to replace them if needed anyways, which is a better option than using AI in my opinion. So if the voice actors are safe and secure, why are we cutting down that content outside of wanting to just save money? Not many other creators have the confidence to challenge the developers' opinions. It's hard to blame them. Swtor will ban them from their influencer group and will cut ties with them. Creators such as Swtor have the most to lose, so they won't risk talking about it. Is this really a good thing though? Is censoring your content creators the right move? It actually gets worse than this. The devs themselves no longer do interviews, something that used to be a critical part of the community. They've gone from doing multiple interviews a year to nothing at all other than the walls of text on the forums. Also, just as a reminder here, budget should not be an issue for the developers. Swtor is a financial success. In its lifetime, it has earned more than $1 billion in revenue, making this a billion-dollar game. That means they've profited more than $800 million in the last many years. That's like earning more than $60 to $70 million every year. Stop giving them this excuse. Star Wars is one of the biggest franchises in the world. They are not struggling financially. They are struggling with their skill set and ambitious timeframes. I say ambitious loosely because with these earnings, their ambitions should be possible. Yet they are struggling. This implies heavily the issue is not and never has been funding. You must make your voice heard if you want change to happen. If we do not speak up, the developers will accept their path of destruction, and a few years from now, we'll have a game so stripped down that it will no longer be recognizable as the game you once loved. It's time to be loud, very loud. Go to the forums, go to Twitter, speak your opinion, and make it known that this will not stand. Of course, do so respectfully. Together, we have the power. Speaking of being together, when Swtor moved to Broadsword, the new studio, their leader, Rob Denton, stated that he would work closely with Pfft, the game director, to ensure this game continues to thrive and grow. How's that going for you, Rob?